After a much more stressful game last night than I would have liked, the Edmonton Oilers hopped on a plane, headed down to the Pacific Northwest, hockey night in the Pacific Northwest. Shout out my boy Brett. There we go, rough start. We're kicking it off for the Oilers' first matchup with the Seattle Kraken this season. As I said, a little late night hockey night in Canada, but not in Canada. Either way, we're excited for this one. Hello, what up, and welcome to Pre-Gaming with Bordzy, brought to you by Sherwood Ford the Giant for a reason. Also, Pre-Gaming is a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. Use the code NATION. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. And let's check in with the chat. Shout out Dalks. He was super horned up for pre-gaming today. He said, first one in the chat, oh wait, it's an 8 p.m. start. I'm going to the penalty box. 40 minutes being too early. But I bet, knowing you threw down your courtesy like 40 minutes early. So shout out you, Austin. As we know, always firing up the band. It's game day, oil country. Let's fucking go. Southpaw, just walking my dog in an absolute blizzard. Yeah, that's tough. I hope you're back in the warmth right now. Excited for pre-gaming and the game. Let's go Oilers. Mark, oddly specific, but I love this. Today is the 18th anniversary of Stefan's missed empty netter. Time is a slippery son of a bitch. That's also kind of a son of a bitch, because didn't that stop us from getting Patrick Kane? Yeah. So, all roads led to McDavid. All roads led to McDavid. We're not even gonna. And then Mr. Burns, time to take a Kraken at sinking Seattle. And then she said, yeah, too much pre-gaming. I'll see myself out. Hey, sometimes we swing, sometimes we miss. And Southpaw says, possible shotguns tonight? I don't make the rules, people. I just follow the rules. And Brett, I asked you, or I reminded you last night that we need to pick up some beers for this game, possibly this evening. Did you?
We delivered. We delivered.
Oh, you don't say, dude.
Oh, maybe. So yes, absolutely. I was explaining why Waz had to stop at a liquor store before we got in. And he understood. He understood the assignment. He likes it. And yeah, possible shotties tonight, boys.
Would be nice. And as you can tell, joined by the fellas this evening, producer Brett Holden behind the scenes, and my boy Marshall Mathers, to be completely honest with you. If you guys could see Waz's full outfit, he even has the big brown, like Timberland looking boots on. I offered to give you my chain that we could put on you, and maybe you could freestyle rap for us. But Waz, how we feeling? Saturday night, late one. We're with the fellas. I think we're excited. If you've watched the show before, when the three of us are on, tends to get a little off the rails from time to time. But Waz, how we doing, my brother?
Bordzy, I haven't done this show since last year.
I knew you were going to say that at some point.
I was ready to go. I've been beating that horse.
Waz just gets up and leaves. That's it for me.
It's always your unfunniest friend who makes that joke.
Walking to the office. Hey, Dan, I haven't seen you since last year.
Yeah, but how you doing, Waz?
Oh, we're feeling good. I'm excited for this game. Hopefully the Oilers got some rest last night. I don't know what time they left Edmonton. It was maybe a late flight or an early flight. Hopefully it was early. Rather than, I don't know, how would you play that? Would you rather go to Seattle after the game or just in the morning? It's a 2-hour flight, right?
I would go immediately right after the game because, Brett, as we know, and we're not professional athletes, even doing a show, you get so hyped up. It's so hard to come down. If you ever played late beer league or late any sport, it's so hard to fall asleep after you're doing it. You just lay in bed and stare at the ceiling. So I would want to get on that plane and probably, even if it's a back-to-back plane ride with the boys, probably have a drink or two. Only after wins.
Yeah, I'll have ball hockey.
Responsibly.
Well, yeah. I'll have
don't put words in
They're
my
late
phone,
nights. They're late nights. Even ball hockey games. It'll be, my mom will call me at 1:30 in the morning. She's like, what are you doing up? I'm like, I had ball hockey. What did you do? Why are you up?
No, I can talk.
But no, exactly what you're saying. Like, sleep is a big thing in the NHL. Obviously, we know back-to-backs. Every team plays back-to-backs, but this is an odd one, is it not? A little bit.
Yeah, it is. It's also like, I mean, they're two of the lesser Pacific Division opponents in the Ducks. Even though, as Brad, we discussed a lot last night, are the Ducks? Are we starting to finally see the turning of the corner? They haven't turned it. It's only been a couple good games here, but they're starting to look and put that fear in me. Lucas Dostal, he was amazing as well. Then you come into Seattle, a team that through and through, there's no way to sugarcoat it. The Edmonton Oilers should whomp this team. But Waz, before we talk Oilers, this might be the greatest compliment someone can give you. Fighting Amish said Waz is the George Costanza of Oilers Nation. Do you know who that is?
He's the guy from Friends.
Oh my God.
He's trolling. I know he's trolling.
Seinfeld.
Yeah.
He genuinely had no idea. As somebody who has ties in 90s comedy TV shows, sitcoms, that was fucking outrageous.
That is outrageous. I base my life off Seinfeld.
And I've never seen either of them.
Yeah, I love
we're not opening this can of worms. We're not opening this can of worms. But, I did see last night, and I loved it. Make sure you're subscribed to all the Oilers Nation socials. You posted a nice TikTok video of you enjoying an Oilers Nation beer, and you quoted as a reward. It's an awesome, good TikTok. But I agree, dude. I needed a beer after that game last night as a reward. Another game, another blown lead for the Edmonton Oilers. They've now blown leads in 3 of their last 4 games against LA, the Ducks, not Utah, and then the Ducks once again. And much similar to their game against the Ducks 5 days prior on Sunday, the Oilers, you get out to that lead. You kind of play with your food. You get the chances. They just couldn't capitalize, and it was a number of lines throughout there. Then it comes out. If you watched After Dark last night, I was gushing. I was blushing at that Leon Draisaitl late game goal. I still feel the same way about it. That was incredible foot-eye coordination, I guess you could say, as the European soccer player in Leon was on full display with that goal. But it was much too tight for the Anaheim Ducks yet again. I mentioned the Ducks, give them credit. They are playing very well. They had come into that one, having won 3 in a row. Much too close for comfort, but a win is a win is a win. And I also think it really went kind of under the rug. We talked about it last night, of course. But Stuart Skinner robbed Frank Petrano on a breakaway, couple minutes left in that third period. Save of the game, play of the game, allowed Leon to get those heroics later on in the game. But was curious, your overall thoughts. They did get the W. We are happy. 2 points is 2 points, but I don't know. We've owned the Anaheim Ducks coming into that game yesterday, 10-2-0 since the 2021 season. But last 2 games against the Ducks, but a little bit difficult.
Yeah, I mean, the Anaheim Ducks recently have been a little bit of a pesky team. Yeah. I think Leon Draisaitl was even talking about that in his post-game presser. Just they're finding ways to stay competitive in games and find some momentum. And the Oilers, they used to be that team where they're at the bottom of the division standings, but they're always kind of trying to put up a fight and trying to be the spoiler, I guess you would say. And they nearly came back. And I, like many Oilers fans, thought that was going to be a blowout. I thought we were going to put up 6-7. Right. I bet the over. Didn't happen. Thanks, Anaheim. Thanks, Edmonton. But Leon Draisaitl, in the end, makes us very happy, as he has done all season. And you mentioned Stuart Skinner there. I saw some comments online, as I do. People say, he never stops breakaways. He doesn't stop the goals that he needs to stop. He doesn't stop those. Yet he's making these 6 saves at the end of the game on Frank Petrano. Love to see it. Mic drop.
Did his mic die?
No, he's done.
That's a knee slapper right there, Brett.
I agree. Well said. I mentioned I see some people in here. They said, Kiana, that goal will be living rent-free in my head for the foreseeable future. And that's why Leon Draisaitl leads the NHL in goals. And you also. So, that game, right? They started out, we knew going in, Connor Brown top line, Zach Hyman going to be on the third line. And obviously it was too close of a game. You come into the third period, Knobloch, as I always make the joke, breaks the glass in case of emergency, decides to go supernova. And boy, oh boy, did it work. Allowed Leon to play with Connor and Hyman. It also extended Leon's point streak to 13 games on the season, tied for the NHL high this year. Boom. Unfortunately, it was the end. RIP to Connor McDavid's 12-game point streak. But big game from Leon Draisaitl. Obviously, that highlight was insane. But you were telling me before we started today, you were noticing some things about Leon's growth in the leadership department.
Yeah, so I was watching the post-game presser because there was a funny clip where he was kind of laughing at the media. And let's see here. One thing I have noticed with Leon Draisaitl is his maturity. And people love to mention his body language and how he's, always pissy Leon when things don't go his way. After the win against the Ducks, he was very accountable about his turnovers when talking about his teams. Like, yeah, we were turning over the puck a lot, but it was mostly me. And you love to hear that from one of your leaders, from one of your best players. And I just think people need to give him more credit for how mature he is actually on the ice. And I think it's been evident this year with the amount of penalties he's taken. And unfortunately, he took one yesterday after 30 games.
Yeah.
30 games that got snapped. His penalty-less game. I'm butchering that, but of course he ends up in the box.
I don't know how you'd say that.
Liam put it really well in his recent article about Draisaitl not taking a lot of penalties, and of course 3 to 5 days later he gets a penalty. Good job, Liam. I'm going to blame Liam on that one.
I like the accountability from Leon, right? That has been a big part of his growth this year. Also, if he's saying that Leon was turning pucks over plenty last night, 97 also was turning over plenty of pucks last night. More on that a little bit later. But obviously, we're not going to know the specific line combinations until 25, 30 minutes before puck drop. We'll let you know. Keep it locked right here. But what we do know, hit it for me, Bert, is a shout out to our boy TB, Tony Brar. And of course, it's when you're on the show. We know Calvin Pickard is going to get the start. Stuart Skinner started last night, but say it for me. Derek Ryan comes in for one. Corey Perry on the fourth line. Interesting because I thought the fourth line was pretty damn good last night. We talked about it. They were the literal good of Oilersnation After Dark, which Brett and I also laughed, noting that Jeff Skinner played so well. And then I looked. He didn't even play double digits of minutes. He played 952 last night, but was very noticeable throughout the game, obviously.
Interesting.
We had a little bit different look to start the lines yesterday with Connor Brown up top, Hyman on the third line. You ain't touching that second line of Vasily Podkolzin and Leon and RV. There's a good look at what they started with yesterday. Obviously, third period comes around. Nobby switches basically everything up, decides to go supernova. But it was interesting to see Zach Hyman on that third line. Obviously, Hymes is not a third line stereotypical player. He's got 50 goal potential. He should be stapled to 97's wing. I mentioned I like the thought process. This is the time to experiment in the year and do what you can. I was very interested to see if Zach Hyman could carry his own line, and really until he got thrown on that top line. That third line was playing incredibly well. Kapanen and Matthias Janmark, I noted. Janmark, while playing center lately, has been largely a winger in his career, so kudos to him for being able to evolve, switch over. That is much easier said than done, if you will, and I thought that line specifically, in the first period, dude, they were dominating down low, possession, cycle game, getting chances through and through, and Hyman looked pretty good driving his own line. Overall, though, what's your thought on changing up the thing, seeing Connor Brown on the top line? Do you think this is something we will continue to see? I don't. I think it will be here for spurts. I also feel bad a little for Connor Brown, not his best game yesterday, but I think that's also directly correlated that it wasn't 97's best game yesterday either. Thoughts on this different look of line combos we got last night?
I kind of like it. I think it's a little bit of a luxury that the Oilers have, that they have players who can play in different positions, be a little versatile. And I like how you said that about Hyman kind of almost like carrying that line a little bit. And I noticed him. I think he brings a little bit different energy. And seeing him next to Matthias Janmark is different. And I liked it, especially the way they opened that game against Anaheim. I thought they really maintained possession together. So I have no issue with it. And like you said, they're maybe doing it for a few games in spurts. I'm thinking about like they're going on a Eastern road swing here and playing probably some really solid teams. And I think this is the right time to do it, especially against a team like the Kraken, like the Ducks, like Utah. Teams are kind of struggling. They'll give you a challenge like we've seen, but the Oilers, I think they're playing their cards well here.
And then thoughts on DR10 getting in the lineup. The fourth line was very, very good.
I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of surprised he's in the lineup. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I thought they were just kind of checking a couple boxes in December. All right, he got his goal. He got his 600th game.
You said to me after the 600th game, you were like, that might be his last one.
But then it's like, oh, he's got his birthday coming up. Got to play him then. All right. And then I thought maybe, because DR10, he hasn't been what he used to be, of course. I think he recognizes that, but he does have a role. He does bring a little bit of I would say, energy to that fourth line. He can win some faceoffs for you. He's a situational type of player, right? And I think the coaching staff really like what he brings, and they can always trust him in like certain situation. We know he's not going to provide offense, but defensively he can be in the right position. It's the little things in his game that they like.
And for me, right, it's the Oilers are clearly committed to not sending Derek Ryan down. They want to keep him up in the press box. You can do that with the way the money and the salary cap's working right now. And I'm totally in favor of that. If he's going to be up there, you got to get him in spurts. Keeps those legs fresh. Yeah. Corey Perry, also old as shit, so could probably take a night off, second night of a back-to-back as well. So I'm fully in favor of it. I would, though, like to see if that fourth line could continue to work. I called him the doghouse line yesterday with Skinner, Rico, and Perry. And I said that's not really fair to Corey Perry because he hasn't really been in the doghouse this year. I then joked, I think Corey Perry has been in the doghouse in his life enough. We'll leave it at that. But I guess DR's been in the doghouse as well, so it still does apply. He's been up there in the press box. Tonight, it is the Seattle Kraken, and I made this joke to you guys earlier that it feels like very long ago that the Seattle Kraken made the NHL playoffs in their second season. They beat the Colorado Avalanche in 7 games in the first round. Totally forgot about that, and I mean, when that first happened, you go, could they be similar to the Vegas Golden Knights and really take advantage of this whole expansion roster system? But it has not quite worked out that way. And this year, it is still quite early, but it's not looking great over there. They are currently 7 points out of a wild card spot. But much like the Anaheim Ducks as of late, these Kraken, I would think, they're very hungry to get a W. They've lost 7 of their last 10 games. They're on home ice, right? And with the way the Oilers have been playing lately against some of these teams, specifically the Anaheim Ducks, the other bottom dwellers in the Pacific Division, you can't be taking anyone lightly. And then furthermore, you mentioned the travel, second half of a back-to-back. I am a little bit nervous when that comes into play. Thoughts on the Oilers taking on the Kraken? And obviously, they aren't the greatest team. We'll go through their stats later. Once again, I call them mid as mid could be. But thoughts on the matchup?
It's going to be interesting because it's the first time we've played the Kraken since, March 2nd of last year. So it's been quite a while. Both teams have had some changes. Obviously, the Oilers they've played really good hockey at the start of December, and then they got some mixed results there in December. Just not the perfect results. They're finding ways to win. And I think tonight would be a great opportunity for them to kind of shell them, put 5 past them, 6 past them, and show to the fans and to the league why you're such a good hockey club, why you're a contender. Because, blowing leads to Anaheim, not a pretty picture. And, even San Jose was a little bit of an adventure of a game. So how about we just absolutely outwork the Seattle Kraken, even though it's the second half of a back-to-back.
Yeah, right. That's the one thing you can control is always your effort. So I'd like to see that. I also like the people. Doghouse line, taking them to the pound. Guys on the doghouse line looking to get adopted to a higher line.
Relatable.
That's creative. I like that. Also, shout out. I think we give him a shout out every show now. Kennedy's dad is in the chat, and he says, old guys rule.
Yeah.
You're damn right. O'Doyle rules. That's Oh, you've seen that movie, Brett. Oh, you've seen that.
Chill.
Yes. Also, I saw, let's get it out of the way. Well, not out of the way. Saw a super chat in the chat right now. Reminder, all of your super chat donations are in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation, cause incredibly near and dear to everyone in oil country's hearts. And it's QF Pro with $2. And he says, can't forget to drop this for good luck. Traditions. Some traditions just mean more than others. Also, shout out Tammy in the ONAD chat. Brett, she's donated so much money so far this season for every win. She's even been doing it after losses.
She's the best.
She's just committed. She is the best.
We need an anchor. We need an enzyme. Was that what is it? I failed science 3 times. So
brother, I did too. So it's the only class I failed was chemistry.
The thing that powerhouses the cell, I'm pretty sure.
Mitochondria.
Oh,
I don't know. Now I'm just saying words. Let's move along. So obviously we started off January. Wazino. It's the right foot. An early W. Tonight is the first meeting. There it is. We get a good look at January. December was a very, very beautiful. And we're moving on to January. So I do think we're a big fan of orange W's around here. So I figured, boys, let's just quickly go through here and let's try and predict as a group the Edmonton Oilers record for this month of January. So we've already got one clearly here against, why am I blanking? Who did we play last night? The Anaheim Ducks.
Hey, man.
The Anaheim Ducks. So let's go through here, and I'll go through what I've predicted, and you tell me if you disagree. You're also not allowed to tell me I'm jinxing. It's a pregame show. We do this shit all the time. Lay off. So, hear me out here. Game against Seattle on the road, to me, that's a W. That's one win right there. Your next 3 games are on the road. You got Bruins, Penguins, Chicago Blackhawks. Not the toughest of matchups. So to me, I predict the Oilers are going to go 2-1 in that stretch. I'll say they lose to the Bruins. Brett, you with me here? Lose to the Bruins, beat the Penguins, beat the Chicago Blackhawks. Do any of you disagree?
No. Bruins game's going to be interesting, that's for sure, because they are a tough team. The Oilers found a way to beat them last time around, but I can see them definitely being all.
Do you
all
subscribe to my in that 3-game stretch? They go 2-1 there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, is it gonna be like last year when they go undefeated in January?
That's kind of the point of why. That's kind of the point of why we're doing this whole exercise. Can we do it again?
We played Vancouver twice, and they're tire fire.
So to me, right there, our next stretch, we're going 3-1. Then you play the LA Kings back at home. You ain't ever going to catch me predicting a loss to the LA Kings. That's a big fat orange W for the Oilers. Now, next 3 games, another tough road stretch. The Oilers, they're about to play a lot of road games for the next 2 weeks. You got the Minnesota Wild, the Avalanche, and the Vancouver Canucks on the road. My thought process here, Brett, you're going to split one against Minnesota and Colorado. And because you play Vancouver later in the month at home, you're going to drop that game in Vancouver on the weekend. Thoughts, feelings?
See, I have them actually losing both to Colorado and to Minnesota, and splitting Vancouver, and that's where I think you're going to get a chunk of their losses this week, this month. I think, and I know I'm jumping the gun a little bit. I think they lose 4 games total this month. And one of them will be in overtime, excuse me. One of those 3 games 4 games really, if you want to swing in the other Vancouver game as well, I think is where you get 3 or 2 of those losses.
I had the Oilers losing that Saturday game in overtime to the Vancouver Canucks.
Hey.
My record is incredibly similar to what you just said. So, thoughts there, Minnesota, Colorado, Vancouver, how do they do in that stretch? It's a tough stretch.
Oh, that's a tough stretch. I think they'll
all on the road too. Right?
I think they'll beat Minnesota. I think they will beat Vancouver, lose to Colorado. How about that? 1-2. I would say 1-2.
1-2. Okay, then we go along there to the Washington Capitals. We get a nice 5-game homestand.
2-1 actually. I think they'll lose to the Avs and beat Vancouver and Minnesota.
See, I said 1-1 in that stretch. I'll break this all down for you finally at the end here. And then the next ones, you got Washington, Vancouver at home, Buffalo, Seattle, Detroit. That's a way to end the month. I enjoy that. So what I had was a loss to the Washington Capitals, 4 wins in a row after that. Lose to the Caps, beat the Canucks, Sabres, Kraken, Detroit Red Wings. So for me, we'll go through one more time. I got W over Seattle, L to Boston, win to Pittsburgh, win in Chicago, then a win over the LA Kings, win over Minnesota, loss to Colorado, loss in overtime to Vancouver, loss to Washington. We're all going to be panicking. We're all going to be freaking out. You guys will be tuning in. Helps our numbers in our view count. And then the Oilers, bang, 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 4 wins in a row. That would be 9-3-1 from here on out if you include the Anaheim win. 10-3-1 on the month, Brett. That is exactly what you said.
That's exactly what I had, 10-3-1 as well.
Damn, we're good, brother. Yeah, feelings. I'm just looking in the chat here. Kennedy's dad loss in Denver and Minnie. Yeah, and that's a back-to-back set right there as well, right? With travel. So that one could be tough. Someone said, shut up, no more beer for you, Bordzy.
The Capitals game would be interesting because they've been one of the best teams in the NHL.
I know you're the biggest Capitals fan I've met this season. It's really great. Sasky, they're going to go streaky until the Avalanche. I'm going to the game in Boston. Oh, that's why Elizabeth said we're not going to lose to the Bruins. McDavid and Skinner will be back with a vengeance. Yep. Let me know what you think their record will be if you want to break that down and give it to me overall. And let's go now to our need to know information brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, because only the finest tasting meat products earn that Will Hawk name. Made from 100% pure Alberta beef, their jerky is aged, seasoned, smoked, and marinated to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size. You can find their jerky, sausage, and other products exclusively out of their Leduc location. For more info, go to willhawkbeefjerky.com. Standings watch. I need my graphic and music now, Brett. That's like pull it up for me. Let's take a look at the top of the Pacific Division. The Golden Knights, the Kings, and the Edmonton Oilers. Oil tied with the LA Kings for second. However, the Kings have one game in hand over the Oil. Oil take on the Kraken tonight. The Kings host the Lightning. That game also started 26 minutes ago. Somebody in the chat give me a score update, please.
Somebody call 911.
Oh, man, if you guys could have seen us three pregame, we were rapping. Waz looks like Eminem, so we jammed No Love by Lil Wayne and Eminem. Banger, if you know what that one is. I mentioned first game of a four-game roadie tonight in Seattle. Boston Tuesday, Pittsburgh Thursday, Chicago Saturday, then home to LA, then back on the road. We do not know yet. Let me check if we've got any confirmed line combinations. No, we don't. Keep it locked here. We'll let you know as soon as we do. I mentioned McDavid's point streak. It ended at 12 games last night. 3 goals, 20 assists, 23 points in 12 games. Is that good? Yeah, that's pretty damn good, but it is outdone by Leon Draisaitl, who extended his to 13, and he's got 25 points in that stretch. Finally, Calvin Pickard, he gets to start this evening with Stu starting last night against the Ducks, and Picks has won 8 of his last 12 games, and this stat's crazy. And I get that it comes with cherry-picked matchups and whatnot. I do not care. It's backup goalie. That's what you do. Picks has held opponents to 2 or fewer goals in 8 of his 13 appearances this season. I ask you again. What? Is that good?
What?
Yeah, that's pretty damn good.
No, Bordzy. They got to go get a new goalie.
Right.
Go give him Elka.
Right.
He's clearly not good enough for a cup winner. No, they can't win a cup with Calvin Pickard. No.
I love when Waz picks up on the jokes. I love when he picks up on it. Let's go.
I do like Vamelka, though.
Jonathan Quick,
on the other side of the needs no information for the Kraken, 17, 19, and 3 on the year. And would you look at it? We got yellow on our side, not all 4 categories.
Yellow, hello.
But we're feeling pretty good. All right, too much. Flew too close to the sun there, was. Goals for, Oilers lead. Goals against, Oilers lead. Power play, the Oilers lead. However, the PK, the Kraken, they do lead by a couple point categories there. Points, I guess I should say. Point percentages. Don't even know what word I'm trying to use there. You get the picture. They also, as I said, they rank so mid. So they're 22nd in goals per game. They're 19th in goals allowed. They're 27th in shots. 21st on the power play. 18th in the PK. One word comes to mind for me there, and it is mid. Jared McCann, he leads the team in points. He's got 13 goals, 15 assists, 28 in 39 games. But this is a little crazy. The Kraken have 13 players with 15 or more points. By comparison, the Oilers only have 8. But as I mentioned, they don't even have 1 point per game player. And our 2 top dogs are tearing it up. And in that list of guys with 15 points includes Matty Beniers, former Rookie of the Year. But he had a very disappointing sophomore campaign last year, and it's continuing yet again. 7 goals, 15 assists in 39 games played. So he's on pace for 15 goals on the season. Not great. And for the injury front, the Kraken, they're going to be without the one, the only, our sweet, sweet boy, Jordan Eberle.
Jordan Eberle, wow!
Overtime. Give it to me. Give it to me.
I did the frog.
Overtime winner.
You hit that.
Boys.
You hit that note, brother. You hit it.
I'm sorry.
Champagne glass in the corner. Just
guys, you're not Kevin Quinn. You're Kermit the Frog here. Relax.
Or Patrick Mahomes, if you will. You can also, I will also accept Patrick Mahomes. Jordan Eberle's out because he had pelvic surgery. Ouch. That does not sound very fun. Yeah, I agree, Brett. The sound you made. Goaltender Joey Decord, he's day-to-day with, I believe they called it a lingering upper body bruise. Curious where he took that puck. Brandon Tanev, he is also day-to-day as well. So because we expect Decord can't go, it should be Philip Grubauer, and the Oilers should be licking their chops at the chance to go against Grubauer. 5-10-1 on the year, 3.50 goals against average with an .877 save percentage, and those numbers get even worse against the Edmonton Oilers in no small sample size. 3-4-0 record in 8 games. He's got a .443 goals against and an .834 save percentage in those 8 games against the Oilers. Kennedy's dad said he predicted a 2-1 game. I hope for Bordzy's bankroll's sake that does not happen because I said last night I wanted a point night. I was just kidding. I meant I wanted it today. That's like what I meant last year was a cup year. No, I was just kidding. This year is officially going to be the cup year.
It's
gotta be. It's gotta be. Cup year.
Cup year.
Cup year. Realized we hadn't said that yet. Let's go now to our Sherwood Ford Giants storyline this evening, brought to you by Sherwood Ford the Giant. Tired of dealership hassles? Well, Sherwood Ford and Sherwood Park is all about convenience and upfront pricing with their Giant Deal program. Get clear, no-nonsense pricing on new and used Fords online with all incentives included. Plus, enjoy the ease of mobile service, free pickup and delivery, and same-day or next-day service appointments. So my storyline, and I guess it's not a key to victory, my storyline is I'd like to shotgun a beer at the conclusion of Oilersnation After Dark.
Facts.
It's become a tradition here. I don't make the rules. I just follow the rules. Actually, I did make the rule. Ignore that part. Ignore that.
The way you say program is funny.
Yeah, I say it because Pat McAfee says
it's like Bag Milk and Adam Henrique.
Oh, I say Henrique.
Or this guy over here.
Thank you. Okay.
It's not Henrique.
Now I don't feel as bad.
He's not complimenting you at all.
Shut up.
You're weird, man.
Storyline being I'd like to shotgun a beer, and that these are scheduled wins, man. Last night against Anaheim, the Seattle Kraken. I noted yesterday the Oilers' record against the Sharks, Ducks, and Kraken coming, I guess now, is 22-4 in their last 26 games against those 3 teams. You should dog walk this team. I expect them to dog walk this team, but hungry dogs run faster. The Seattle Kraken, they've lost 7 of their last 10 games. They're on home ice. The Oil, second half of a back-to-back. There's lots of reasons why you could doubt the Oil, whatever, tonight. I ain't doing any bit of that. And then my other storyline are looking at keys to victories. How are these lines going to align? What is Nobby going to do? Because he's like the best ventriloquist I've ever seen because he's just pulling strings all over this bitch, and everything he does just seems like it works. So hashtag in Nobby we trust. Wazinho or Brett as well. What's your storyline heading into this one against Seattle?
My storyline is going to be can Connor McDavid score a goal, actually? I was thinking about that earlier today. The fact that he has not scored a goal since the Bruins game. It's about 6 games without a goal with Connor McDavid. His shooting percentage this year is around 14%, I believe. And I saw some comments online like, whatever happened to 22-23 McDavid, where he was shooting 18%, winning the Maurice Rocket Richard? What happened to Connor McDavid? I know last year he had an injury he was kind of dealing with all of last year that kind of prevented him from shooting at that rate. But yeah, McDavid, like, he's got 15 goals on the year. Last year he scored 32. So Connor, just fire the puck a bit more. That's my storyline. Will Connor McDavid shoot more?
We said it yesterday, Brett. Both of us will never tell 97 how to play hockey.
Never.
But we also then immediately afterwards kind of tell them how to play hockey.
Just a suggestion.
But exactly. I've been online. I'm out on Reddit. I was in this chat yesterday. A lot of the Oilers fan base agrees 97. Just grip it and rip it. More on that in a second. What's your storyline?
For me, you know what? It's going to sound soft, but it's the truth. I don't expect much out of this game. We've seen the last couple of games for Edmonton. Bit sleepy, and that even predates the new year. Second of a back-to-back, you had to travel for that back-to-back. Another sleepy team as well, and we've seen how they've played against sleepy teams recently. I don't expect too much. All my storyline is tonight is just keep your head above water. Keep yourself in this game. Just make sure you're in the game. That's the biggest thing. And then by the end of the game, we saw what Leon Draisaitl can do. You saw what the big dogs, the Supernova, can do as well with 2 minutes left. Keep your head above water. And if you need to, if it's an absolute need to, Supernova need to win this game, obviously you need to win this game. But if you're not living up to expectations, then go hard. I'm not expecting too much. I think that's more for me, really, but I think that's for everybody as well. Don't expect too much out of this game. It's going to be a slow game. Both teams are second of back-to-back, isn't it?
No, they played Thursday.
Thursday, excuse me.
In overtime.
There you go. But no, I don't. I think it's going to be sleepy. Just keep your head above water.
Kennedy's dad, good point. Keys to victory. Score more goals than the Kraken.
Yep. Yeah.
Wait. Carry the one. Yes. I'm down with that. Also, they're calling final buzzer Buzz Killington. Buzzer, I get your point that you're making, but you can be a buzzkill from time to time. I love you. Thanks for subscribing. Stay in the chat. We love you. You mentioned, I guess, do we have any news yet? Do we have any news?
Not yet. Just check. Not yet.
I'm seeing some sewer ball warm-ups. So we know the boys are going to be rocking and rolling. I also, Brett, hate that you said don't expect much because Bordzy's bankroll is expecting things.
Sorry.
Yeah, but hey, that's what it is. So, I mean, you can pull up the lines from the last game, how they started if we want. As I mentioned, this is not official. We'll let you know the second we can, keeping it locked on Twitter. That's how they started. Obviously, they finished with 97, 29, and 18. We've seen Nobby tinker a little bit lately. One thing we do know, I fully expect that second line to stay intact the way it has been throughout it all. And I would expect the D pairings to be the same as well. But the Edmonton Oilers did recall Josh Brown from the Bakersfield Condors. Hooray, was.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I was. A lot of people were making a big deal of this. Like, why is Josh Brown back in the lineup?
Because we're going on a roadie. We're going on a 4-game road.
Jason Gregor mentioned earlier that this is basically kind of like an insurance play. Someone responded to Gregor saying, makes 0 sense. Gregor responded saying, actually, it does make sense. Only carrying 6D, going on a 4-game roadie after tonight, and might have a D-man banged up or sick. And people are like, why not bring up what's his name? Kemp? The defenseman in Bakersfield. Kemp. And it's one of these situations where it's just a road trip insurance, right? And do you really want to bring up Kemp and have him not really even play?
Well, and that's sorry, Aaron, if I'm stepping on toes here, but especially with the way Bakersfield has been playing, not recently, but this season and the whole thing about development and everything like that. We want Kemp. Sure, we want Kemp. We want anybody to be able to be serviceable on this team. We saw what happened with Vinny Desharnais, went and got his bag. Absolutely. We saw what happened with Mike Kesselring as well. But you said it, you hit the nail on the head. You want these guys to be playing. Josh Brown is an NHL player, has played in the NHL more than Phil Kemp.
And he's done it this season.
Yes, he's done that, but he also knows his role.
He also beat someone's ass.
He also realizes he's not a number one defenseman even in the AHL. So this is a guy, Phil Kemp is a guy that you want sitting there playing meaningful minutes, top pairing type of stuff, and you want him playing. If you're bringing a guy on the road trip, he's sitting unless something circumstantial happens. You want a guy who's used to sitting and not used to being that guy. And Phil Kemp is that guy down the AHL. Josh Brown is that guy up here.
2 things before. 1, Brett, come back on camera.
Okay.
You also executed a flawless Chris Collingsworth. So here's a guy. That was well done.
Should I have come in too?
And it was slid in. Well, yes. And you should also show off your shirt.
Oh, yes. I got this for my birthday, which is 3 days after Christmas. I know it's not I shouldn't say his name because I know his mother is not a big fan of the nickname, but
Nick Jesus?
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, that's what we told that.
It's from my girlfriend's best friend's brother. So thank you, Wyatt.
Shout out.
Appreciate it.
Cool. I met him once.
Yeah, you did. You were there.
Nick Jesus?
You weren't.
Okay, we officially got our lineup combos. And the way it's looking, so Brad, I guess I'll give you some time, but I'll read it out to the people. Top line, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with Connor McDavid and Connor Brown. So he will continue to stay on the top line. Second line, Vasily Podkolzin with Leon Draisaitl and Victor Arvidsson. So much like we predicted, they ain't touching anything on that second line. And then we're seeing a switch up on the third. Matthias Janmark stays on the third line, but shifts over to the left wing. Centering that third line is Adam Henrique. Henrique. No, it is not. It's Henrique. Janmark on the left. Henrique down the middle. Zach Hyman on the right wing. And then your fourth line, Jeff Skinner with Derek Ryan and
Ryan, baby.
Kasperi Kapanen. Your deep pairings stay the same. Ekholm with Bush. Darnell Nurse with 1, Troy Stetcher, and Brett Kulak with Ty Emberson. So, I mean, I guess the way I could go with this, I'll talk about it, and you can, when Brett pulls it up, you guys can visually see this, or go check Twitter right now as well. Rico is not a fourth-line center, in my opinion. I think that was a result of his poor play over the weekend and what had happened recently. He's also paid too much to be our fourth-line center. But I did like what what that fourth line had been doing last night. Was kind of, what's your thought process? We'll talk that third line. Switching Janmark back over the wing. Jack of all trades, master of none. He just gets tossed all over this lineup. Rico centering it with 1, Zach Hyman. Rico was very, very good last night, getting awarded back up there on the third line. Thoughts on that trio of Janmark, Rico, and Hyman?
I have no real issue with it. Hopefully it gels well. And Adam Henrique's been getting a little bit of flack.
David, but okay, we are back. Hopefully we can keep going here. The point I was making is Connor McDavid. I like the unselfishness from him. I'd like you to shoot the puck more, man. I miss 64 goal Connor McDavid. I'd like him to come back. Also, I joked, if McDavid was just committed to shooting the puck, I could become the richest man ever betting his shot props. He has the ability to fire off 7 shots a game. Maybe that's hyperbole. Maybe 5 shots a game every night if he wanted to. I also said I'd like to see Leon Draisaitl dare him to score 60 goals again. That'd be cool. We could try that out as well. McDavid like to see him use the puck or shoot the puck a little bit more. Okay, we are back. All right, we are back. I missed you all. No, we were safe, and Waz took off his shirt during that time. No, he did. Other things, just mentioning. No, we're running out of time here. We should move along. Let's talk some goaltenders. Brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Hit the trails this winter and the waves next summer. As fellow hockey fans, the team at Sherwood Power Sports Marine are helping Oilers Nation fans gear up. Home of an ATV for just $50 bi-weekly, or cruise the open water with a boat for as low as $105 bi-weekly. Power Sports and Marine are hockey fans helping hockey fans get set for their next adventure with motorcycles, quads, e-bikes, boats, and scooters. The funnest one of them all, you might be able to say. You a big Lime scooter guy when you go downtown?
No. I like the walking at my steps in.
Nice, smart man.
I've watched him on a Lime scooter, and it's not pretty.
Brett, you used to send me a snap every day last year in the summer of you doing burnouts on your scoot, and I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I fall a lot. But I love these scooters.
But I look sick.
Yeah, I love it. Stoked, dude. But no, I love the scooters. I want a scooter for myself so I can do those burnouts. My aunt has like a personal one that I take around all the time in LA. Yes, scooters are the way to go. That is the one that I want from Sherwood Power Sports. And you can get one at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. All right, pull it up. The tail of the tape between the two goaltenders. And look at that, people. Yellow on both categories for the Edmonton Oilers. That's when you know it's bad. Philip Grubauer, Calvin Pickard, 8-4-0, 251 goals against, 898 save percentage picks. He's won 8 of his last 12 starts, like I said, allowed 2 or fewer in 8 of 13. His last game was the loss to the Ducks on Sunday. He allowed 4 on 31 shots. Regardless of the outcome of that game, I will never waver. I love my pal Cal. This is totally a matchup he should be getting against these
I'm not going to say, no, I will say lowly Seattle Kraken. I love my guy. Feel great about him in the net tonight. Like I do most games, feel quite confident. He obviously has a better save percentage than Stuart Skinner. Oh, so close to 900. He's been above it. He's been below it, back and forth. Thoughts on picks getting the start? And here, answer me this. Is he 900 after the game?
I would say so. 100%. Like, I mean, how much people just expect so much out of their backup goaltender.
Right?
I expect him to let in a bad goal or two, and it's fine as long as the team gets the win and they can get behind him. And, Calvin Pickard, I think he's been serviceable for the most part. Some people may disagree with me, but Pickles, they're great.
Pickles, my pal Cal, like I said, cup you Pickles.
Yeah.
Philip Gruber, McGruber. Give me a paperclip, a hairnet, and then it just blows up. I love the niche references when we get us going. Philip Grubauer is expected to get the start. It's also confirmed now. Just check DFO. 5-10-1 record. 350 goals against, 877 save percentage. That's bad. That's not good. And that's why the Kraken really need Joey Decord to come back. He hasn't played since December 22nd out with that upper body bruise, I guess is what we're going with. And hey, that's fine. But Decord, he's been sick all season long. 12-9-2, 251 goals against, 912 save percentage. That is drastically different than McGruber's numbers over there for the Seattle Kraken. Quite the drop-off. Also a reason was why I love the Edmonton Oilers, why I'm chasing down a point night tonight with Grubauer. Numbers even worse against the Edmonton Oilers in his career. McGruber, that is, getting the start. Thoughts on also that nickname, because I love that nickname now.
He looks very mid, to say the least. That's all you can really say. The fact that
I don't even think mid does it justice.
He has worse numbers than a backup goalie on the Oilers. And the Oilers, the goaltending is not perfect. Well, we know that. So, but then again, don't underestimate, the goalies. We've seen in the last couple games, they can surprise you. I mean, some of these younger goalies have done well against Edmonton, like Dostal and Askarov, but sometimes a goalie can goalie you, and we've seen that with the Edmonton Oilers.
We've seen it a lot.
But knock on wood, that's not tonight.
Yep, let's go. Also, Kennedy's dad, Brett, said, my man, Daryl, hand me that paperclip. It's Daryl. That's Charles Barkley, right? I think that's Charles Barkley in that one. Oh, this is why I love the chat. This is what deserves likes for referencing McGruber right now. This show is my ADHD in human form.
Yes,
Fact. And the Edmonton Oilers. In my brain, it's just a monkey smashing together the things. Yep. Let's take a look now at the projected Seattle Kraken lineup, brought to you by Greta Bar Yeg. Perfect spot pregame, perfect spot postgame. They're awesome for weekday or weekend. Great arcade, great weekly drink specials, and the street food is incredible. We are in talks of when we're heading back down to Greta. Keep for a nice watch party going on. Keep it locked on our socials because I'm starting to get the itch. You know, Brett? Yeah, you guys couldn't see the look Brett just shot me right there. That got me fired up with that. Yeah, that crazy look in his eye.
Greta. It was a great time.
And he said, let's get it on.
ADHD. Great.
Taking a look at that Kraken roster. Top line, Jaden Schwartz with Matty Beniers and Capo Caco. Jared McCain, who leads this team in points and goals, I do believe. He's on the second line with Chandler Stevenson and Andre Burakovsky. Eli Tolvanen with Shane Wright and Oliver Bjorkstrand. Ty, how do I say that last name?
Cartier.
It is Cartier. Nice. Joe Burrow's also playing right now, too. Shout out. Yanni Gord, fourth line with Brandon Tanev. We thought he might be day-to-day, but I guess he's going to be in that lineup. Vince Dunn, D pairings done with our boy Adam Larson. Jamie Alexiak with Brandon Montour. Riker Evans with Josh Mahura.
Can I just point out that when you said Jared McCann, you said Jared McCain?
Yeah, I caught myself.
Okay, good.
Shout out Sixers.
Great guy.
Shout out.
Great guy. We love
76ers.
Pro Jared McCain podcast.
I'm pro TikTok, guys. I'm pro. I'm also pro Duke, so as well. Looking through this roster, though, we take a peek, boys. I always ask, who's your player to watch? I mentioned they don't have a single point per game player. Not really any big dogs that you would think when you look at this roster, but they are deep. That's a solid top nine throughout. all lines kind of produce now. They produce mid numbers, I could say. Waz, I'll let you go first. Give me a player to watch for the Seattle Kraken.
I'm going to go with Chandler Stevenson. He's a solid player. He was good with the Vegas Golden Knights. Can't go wrong with him. Andrei Burakovsky, of course, is another one. He used to play for the Washington Capitals, 23rd overall pick. Pretty good player. Won a cup. One player you won't be watching tonight is Yanni Gourde because he is out of the lineup.
He is.
Last minute decision.
Oh, so, there you go.
Well, there goes my player to watch.
So,
Tilly.
The player I would have said, oddly enough, Daniel Sprong is a case to be studied because he got picked up by the Kraken. He was on the Canucks to start the year. He scored a sick goal in preseason. And this is a player I was pretty high on 2 years ago. And then Detroit signed him. And he was put good. He put up 18 goals, 43 points, and he played around 12 minutes a night. He also used to play with the Kraken in 22-23. He scored 20 goals. And now he's barely getting any games. He's getting scratched, averaging about 10 minutes a night when he does play. He only has 2 goals this year. I've heard he's not great defensively, kind of like Jeff Skinner, but I've also heard he's just not a great teammate. That's what I've heard on social media. Don't believe what I always say, obviously. But interesting case because he's a player who can find the back of the net. He's got a little bit of skill, but at Daniel Sprong, I was looking through the lineup and then I'm like, hold on a minute, they had this guy and it didn't work out in Vancouver. And I know Canucks fans were saying this guy's putting up 30 goals. He's sick. And next thing you know, he's getting tossed around. Yeah.
Brett, who's your player to watch? Tell me about Yanni Gourde.
And he's not playing. For me, and I'm talking about both guys that we were talking. He spent a minute talking about a guy who scratched, but that was sick. For me, it's Capo Caco. Obviously, a guy who just got traded to the Seattle Kraken, but has seemed to have a nice little introduction so far. I believe he scored a game winner, whether that was in the shootout or overtime. I don't remember. But a guy to watch out for, a guy who's trying to look for not really a career resurgence, but a tough start to his career in New York, has had flashes. I'm interested, and I'm pretty sure, it seemed like every time the Rangers played the Oilers that Kako was at some point involved. Going to be interesting. I'm interested to see him, especially with Matty Beniers too. I was a big Matty Beniers guy in his draft here. Obviously, a young guy as well. Yeah, well, he had a really good rookie year. He had the sophomore slump. Ready to see what he's ready to bring. Has a young guy on his wing. Interesting to see what they can bring together as well.
Yeah, for me, if I had to pick somebody,
the projected lineup, by the way, for the Kraken as of right now.
Where'd you find that?
Emerald City Hockey, they put it up. They usually they cover the Kraken well. Ben Myers is on their fourth line with Brandon Tanev.
Yeah, they just recalled him.
Yeah,
they just recalled him.
Ben Myers, not going to probably see him. Watch him score a goal, because I said that. He played 14 games with the Ducks last year. He's just he's got 71 games. He's 26, buddy. Just call it a career. Come on.
My player to watch will go Jared McCann, not McCain. He doesn't paint his fingernails, this one, but the other one does. And you're Caleb Williams.
Interesting.
Guy. You're all about that life. Let's go now for Bordzy's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is a proud partner of Pregaming with Bordzy. Open an account with Bet365 today. Bet on a huge range of markets. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today and use the code NATION. Hit it for me. These are the 3 options I got this evening. Totally remembering I forgot to bet these, so we're all going to do this together. First one being a Nuge 1+ assist. Nuge has been playing a lot better as of late. He has 1 goal, or he's got 7 points in his last 9 games. And in his career against the Kraken, he's a point-per-game player. He's an assist-per-game player against the Kraken. 1 goal, 12 assists in 10 career games. So I like the Nuge. And I was nervous that there might be a lineup change here and he'd get taken off the top line. Nope, we're good. We ride with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Second one, it's Leon, and it's 2+ points. I went away from it for a little bit, which was probably good last night. He didn't hit it. He only had the 1 goal. I think he's coming back with a vengeance. 13-game point streak, 25 points in that stretch. And in his career against the Kraken, 23 points in 10 games. Math guy, that is more than 2 points per game. Also, plus 125, pretty juicy. And then we're going puck line. Oilers got to win by 2 goals. That's what the minus 1.5 means for all you non-gamblers out there. And the Oil, they're 8-2 in their last 10 against the Kraken, outscoring them 42-27 over that 10-game stretch. They have won 6 straight games against the Kraken. They have won 5 straight on the road at Climate Pledge Arena. I'm expecting more of the same. Yes, second half of a back-to-back. It's the Oilers. It's the Kraken. Do not overthink things. So we're getting a little greedy here with the plus 135 puck line. Wazino, which of those 3 bets do you like the most? And do you have any bets that you're placing this evening?
I like the 93 plus 1 assist. He's been playing well recently. He's been finding ways to get on the scoreboard, especially on the power play. I do have a parlay, of course.
Okay, hit me.
Yes, I do. And
is it a spider?
No, it's not a spider,
Okay.
but I did not pick a Kraken player.
Attaboy.
I'm going Zach Hyman.
It's learning.
Hey.
It's like a gremlin.
3+ shots.
Don't let it eat after midnight.
Zach Hyman. Connor McDavid to score a goal.
Ooh.
He's due, I think. Draisaitl to get an assist. Easy. Money line, Edmonton. Draisaitl over 1.5 points. Easy. And Hyman, 1 assist. He got one the other night.
And what is that altogether? Do you know?
Around plus 1,600.
Let's ride. Let's ride.
Ride it down.
Let me know if you got any bets that you like this evening or what of those 3 you liked. Bert?
I like the dry one here. I'm completely behind 2+ points, despite the fact that I said it was going to be a sleeper, because I'm also going to say that it's I like the puck line too, because I think they might get an empty netter, which is why I think I like 2+ points and the puck line as well. But I do have a special spider as well.
Give it to me.
Give it to me.
Spider is an 8-leg.
Yes.
Responsibly. Only betting what he's willing to lose.
Only responsibly. Alrighty. Edmonton money line. We knew that one.
Okay.
Forgot to do the over under. Oh no. Yes, I did. Forgot to do over for goals. So missed that. Was going to hit the over. Anyways, over a point, 0.5 point for RV. I think
Nice.
RV's starting to pick it up here. You
That's
know what?
plus money too, I think.
Yes, it actually absolutely is. I'm a plus chaser. Over 0.5 goal for Dry. Over 2.5 shots for Hyman. I think he looked really good in yesterday's game. I like that line so far. I think he's going to keep hammering. I do have a Kraken on this one here, Wazzy, but it's a former Oiler, so it doesn't really count. I have a Larson over 1.5 blocked shots. You know I love those blocked shots now that I understand what a blocked shot is. Speaking of which, your boy Kulak, I have him at the same 1.5 blocked shots. And Pickles over 24.5 saves.
I keep forgetting that we have to do this bet thing, but now there's a little bit too late. Chat, you also remind me on the next pregame, or maybe we'll talk now. That's the next pregame. Yeah. Brett and I have an idea for a bet between the two of us for the month that we can then make content out of the punishment for what it is. And let's just say it's painful, it's funny, it's entertaining.
Not going to be pretty.
It's ADHD in human form, as somebody said. That was a pretty good explanation there. Finally, before we head out, also, my picks all parlayed together, plus 600. So, not crazy. We like that. Finally, want to give a shout out to Odd Company for the Nation Beer Everyday Lager. You can see him up right there, directly above Wazino's head. Odd Company, yeah, just kidding as that pops up, but look at that sick logo. Shout out to Odd Company. You can pick these up 2 locations in the Edmonton area, or head to liquorconnect.com and you can find out where they are available. Look at that. Waz is also modeling them perfectly. We also still have the elf photo of Tyler Remchuk. I'm still noticing. Well, there's that. How that goes.
Speaking of insubordination,
Bang, Brett, you knew exactly where my brain was going. You want to see the boys get nuts? I'm kidding. March 30th to April 2nd, 2025. We're heading to Vegas. Shout out to Flair Airlines. Shout out to Kennedy's dad and Kennedy's dad for giving life to Kennedy and Kennedy for putting on this trip because it's going to be a banger of a trip. So excited. Oil taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. We're going to be watching it bougie style in the Stella Artois Lounge, where your food and booze is already accounted for. Buckle up, Buckaroo Was. Don't do that. Don't do that with a microphone.
Yeah, it clicked in my head right after. It clicked in my head right after.
Nation Vacation, going to be an awesome time. The Gamers, April 1st. Come on, head out. All three of us, I do believe, are going on this trip. It is going to be one hell of a time. And that'll do it for us today, pre-gaming with Bordzy. I love you. This went exactly how I thought the show was going to go. At least if we're one thing, we are consistent. Big shouts out to our sponsors, Short for the Giant, Power Sports Marine, Greta Bar Yeg, Bet365, Willock Beef Jerky, Odd Company Nation Beer, and Come On, said Nation Vacation. Throw down your like and get in the ON After Dark chat as the three of us will be live right after this game, hopefully breaking down an Edmonton Oilers W. And if you know what that means on a back-to-back, boys might be having some fun a little bit later on. I love you all. Good luck on the Bet365 Battlegrounds, and we will talk a little bit later. Peace out, everybody.